Hello guys and welcome to Ready to Work powered by Apps. My name is Rev Eskin, and if you've been following this series for a while now, I'm sure you've really enjoyed every bit of what we brought. I remember the first one had to do with bridging the gap between academia and then the career side of the corporate world. Along the line, we talked about entrepreneurship and then a few things you need to see and know in your career journey. Today we're doing something very special, and just so you have a good time with us, if you have any question whatsoever, kindly put it in the comment box. If you're joining me live on Facebook, welcome. If you're joining us on our Zoom, welcome as well. For the guys on YouTube, welcome. Whatever it is that you have on your mind, you can go into the comment box. We'll have time and then ask all the questions. Now, according to a new LinkedIn Go survey result, almost 80% of professionals consider professional networking to be an important tip in career success. More than 1/3, that is 35%, say that casual conversations on LinkedIn messaging has led to new opportunities such as new business deals, people getting established, new business partnerships along the line, and that. The importance of career networking, in my opinion, shouldn't be discounted whatsoever during a job search. Career networking should become a part of your daily work and career-related endeavors. Your career network should be in place for when you need it. Very, very important. Both for your job searching and, of course, for you moving up the ladder when it comes to your career. Since you never know when you might need it, it is very, very important, and it makes sense to have an active career network at large. It is for this purpose that the Apps Ready to Work outfit today is designed to provide young people the needed skills that will help them transition from the world of education, as I mentioned earlier, into the world of work. The tool provides materials that will help them develop soft skills such as team working, emotional intelligence, professional networking, and communication skills. Very, very important. It is an online training tool that members get to choose a path and pace to complete the modules via PC, tablet, or smartphone at zero cost. Now, the link is www.readytowork.apsa.africa. So you might want to check that out while we get ready for business this morning. APSA also organizes monthly free online webinars for youth seeking to be employed or setting up their own businesses with life skills under the following modules. That's the first one, money skills, how to make money, how to keep it, how to make it work for you, and how not to lose it. Second thing is entrepreneurial skills, very, very important. Key things new business owners should know: how to start businesses and how to grow your business after you've started. The next thing is people skills, which is part of the reasons why we're here today. People, professional relationship building, and one of the key successful career growth tips as well. Work skills, identifying, creating, pursuing, and getting what you want after you get the job that you want. Now, today's webinar is on people skills, and we are discussing the topic professional relationships and networks, key to a successful career growth. And as always, I'm not doing this alone. I'm joined by three interesting personalities. I say interesting because I wish you guys had an in on the conversations we had before this, but we're definitely bringing you guys maybe 120% of what we did in the course of this. First person is Papa Arkest, directly to my left. He's a digital solutions expert. He's an accomplished communicator, take note of that, and a TEDx speaker who has earned the highest coveted award of Distinguished Toastmaster with the Toastmasters International Organization. He's the first individual to have been awarded this title here in Ghana, and is one of the select few to hold it worldwide. In 2017, he was recognized by the Citizen Advocacy and using business innovation for social good. Through regular coaching and facilitated training sessions, he mentors passionate individuals, spanning rising leaders to the C-suite, and to help them improve their communication and leadership skills. Papa is a mentor. For the Emerging Public Speakers, Public Leaders Program, and has facilitated several leadership and communication sessions. Thank you so much, Papa, for accepting our invitation this morning.
Thank you for
I'll come back to you. Let me move on to my next panelist. The second, she's actually a wonderful woman. I had a conversation with her before this. Her name is Lina Safo, a career coach, and your biggest cheerleader in getting that job. Leveraging on over 17 years of experience in human resources, Lina is passionate about sharing her knowledge on how to get a job. Okay, she's also an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personal Development Certified Occupational Ability and Personality Test, which simply means she can make psychometric tests and basically used by multinationals in their selection process. And so the process you go through in getting a job in multinational companies. She's an expert in that. Also, she is a certified coach and most recently certified NLP master practitioner. For those who are wondering what NLP is, NLP uses behavioral and communication techniques, all right, to make it easier for people to change their thoughts and actions, especially in the workspace. Thanks, Lena, for also joining us today on the panel. My final man, his name is Isaac, known as Ike. And he's a strategic human resource generalist with over 12 years, all right, 12 years of progressive experience across different countries on 2 continents within the manufacturing and banking sector. He is experienced in talent management, first and foremost, acquisition and development, organizational design, HR policies, and employee engagement as well. Isaac is very passionate about supporting students, all right? That is very, very important for all of us here. And young talents to identify the progress or, identify and then push forward their career, and consistently does it through career conversations such as this one, sessions and mentoring. He's currently a people business partner with Absa Bank. Good to also have you on here, Isaac. So let's move on straight to business. There's a quote by a very popular person, a quote that I really love. His name is Robert Kiyosaki. He says, "The richest people in the world look for building networks, all right? Everyone else looks for work." And because of this quote, today's topic is tremendously a big interest to me, and I'm sure our viewers at home will also find it very interesting in getting to know all about building professional relations. So I'm going to start off, of course, with the main thing why we're here. I want to find out how important professional relationships are in career building. How important is it? If you have a fair idea what it generally is about, you can tell me as well. I might want to start off with you, Papa.
How important is professional relationships in career building?
Yes.
Let me approach it this way. People need people. And we're a social construct. Without people, we can't go from point A to point B. And because people need people, but unfortunately, we're all competing for, should I say, scarce resources. Yeah. The question is, what makes you special? And depending on the relationship you have with people, you get exposed to opportunity. So professional relationship building is your ability to use soft skills to connect with people who may be obviously an advantage to you at the moment that you do, or later,
yeah,
in an effort to ensure that you get return. On Saturday, I'm actually giving a talk somewhere, and the topic is relationships, the new investment portfolio. And I believe that the earlier we realize that relationships are one of the key things we invest in, the better. So professional relationship building is about knowing that you need people, knowing that you need sponsors, knowing that people connect you to the opportunities out there, or to the knowledge that you need to even know that the opportunities are out there.
Definitely.
And being intentional about giving them value so that they want to connect with you, remember you, promote you when you're going. The key thing here is value. If you are consistently the one who's showing a need for the people you connect with, they are more likely to forget you, or you are more likely not to make an impression. But if you, and it doesn't matter what your experience is or what you have, so long as you ensure that you're the best at it, that you put your all into it, you will be of value to somebody.
True.
And so when you reach out, you will always make an impression on people who will end up returning that impression one day in your career.
Wow, thank you so much. Lena, anything you want to add?
Yeah, the reason why professional relationships are extremely important, and I'm going to talk it from a HR side or recruitment side, is because of the term hidden market. And I think I might be able to contribute as well. There's such a thing called hidden market, whereby as recruiters, we don't advertise the job because of the cost associated with and the turnaround. So we would most probably go into our networks and ask, is there anybody that would be suitable for the role? So if you do not value and foster healthy relationships, you will not be able to access that hidden market. You know, there's a lot of people that say, this is a who you know society. But what they do is limit themselves, saying, because I don't know anybody, I can't find a job. But here is the case that now we're in because of the pandemic, you know, everything is online. You can actually now start to build healthy relationships so that you can also now get to know. just this morning, because I knew I was going to be on this panel, I actually went on LinkedIn and I typed in ABSA Ghana. And what I saw was 1,400 people were on LinkedIn. And then I even connected with Ike a couple of days ago. You can actually find access to the people in the organizations in which you want to work in. So that's the first reason as to why you need to foster and build relationships. And the second one is, I'm also a fan of TEDx, and I saw a quote by a gentleman by the name of Eddie Obing. And he said, the world is changing so fast, more than what we can actually learn. So imagine you've graduated university. Yeah. Everything you've learned at university may be obsolete.
True.
You know? So again, by fostering these healthy, fostering professional relationships, you may find that you might need to actually have necessary conversations with HR professionals, accountants, if you want to go into supply chain, and just find out what's going on in the industry and being aware. It's not always about finding that job. It's also about keeping yourself abreast so that when you do go to that interview, you're ready, you know what's going on. Because I can guarantee you, after finishing university, some of the information, we're moving forward. And then the last reason why developing a professional relationship and building your network is important is because we're in 2021. Yeah. For that reason alone, you should be, working at how can I increase the people that I know. We've got WhatsApp groups now, whereby, you can just, that's like 150 people already that you've met. You've got Clubhouse, where people are giving out their expertise for free. You've got LinkedIn, whereby just through a connection, you can send a message.
There's Twitter Spaces as well.
Exactly. You can send messages to people and ask for information. But in order to do that, you also need to take some ownership. And I was talking to Papa about showing up, and then Papa mentioned about value. You've also got to be, when you're building relationships, it's not always one way about I need a job. You also need to understand what you can offer. What are your strengths? What are your skills? And, we all say, what are your strengths? What are your skills? And people say hardworking. I mean, what is it that you're really good at? Yeah, and so, for example, if you want to work for ABSA, if you want to work for ABSA and you notice that citizenship is very high on ABSA and you do a lot of volunteering, there's a connection. That can actually spark a conversation. True. So it's about learning about how to spark conversations so that you can get information and then you can also show up and show that, you know what, I think I can do it if you give me the chance. So that is the main reason why, those three reasons are always my top of the list as to why you need to build relationships. Don't stick with who you know. Grow who you know.
Expand.
Expand who you know.
I think two things from what you said. Hidden markets, and of course you showing up to prove that you're actually up for this task. I mean, there are a lot of people who are capable, people who have different abilities, but then the opportunity itself is what they lack. And so in building connections or building professional relations or relationships with people around you, you give yourself an upper hand on these things because there's a lot of people out there looking for jobs. Ike, let's hear from you as well. What's your opinion on this?
I think I'll probably link into
what Papa
a bit and then get into Lena to close out. But on Papa's point, let's take this example, a PC, a standalone PC versus, a number of PCs that are networked. You realize that one PC may probably have a software that will be valuable in another PC, but the person there, based on the network he's got, he can easily pull that into that PC and upgrade it. Some PCs may probably be sponging on the internet that is on another PC on the network. So that should straight away tell you how important networking is. You cannot say that your copyright date book that says 1983 that you read in the university is still relevant now. It has been upgraded several times, and where you can actually get the upgrade is from the horse's own mouth, the people who are actually doing the work on the ground. So if you are a student or you're a young professional just starting your career and you're like, how do I learn? And all the time you're actually on books, you're actually missing the actual connection, which is the people who own the details in the books. And that is where networking becomes very important. There's another part of it. you will also have the opportunity to share what you have. And that links into what Lena is saying. Imagine you have, you connected to some people who are actually working in various organizations, and they know that you have a very diverse view in various aspects of work, which they know they are lacking in the company. Should a role come up in the company, what will happen? They'll call on you. And there's something in it, and Lena actually linked to it a bit. Companies are looking to save costs when it comes to recruitment. We don't want to go into 6 months, 8 months. That is like you killing the company. So imagine if we can straight away be able to connect with the right person from the word go. We've closed that. And we've actually increased the profitability by reducing the cost of the company as well. So to you, the individual, whilst you're getting that benefit of being able to get into the right positions at the right time, the company is also being able to save costs and probably maximize more on their revenue because of your expertise that you're bringing over to them. So I know a lot of people keep saying and connecting networking to whom you know. It's two different things. I'm sure when we go in there, we'll talk more about that. But the second aspect is, think of networking as this. You don't have enough to run where you are. For you to have that much, you need to work with people. People always need people, to Papa's point. So you connect with people, you get more returns, you get to actually even sell your company if you are into entrepreneurship. So it is not negotiable. 2021, if you don't have people and you are using your Facebook, your WhatsApp for different things that are more like fun stuff, and you're not connecting the dots around, those fun people can actually benefit you more, and you can benefit them more, then you are not into the game, and probably you'll be dying off soon as well. So networking is very important.
Very, very important. And I mean, it's one thing you mentioned that caught my attention. I mean, goes back to what Papa said, value. What value do you have in your connections? So we're not saying just move straight and then start building connections where you can't go to. But then with the space that you're in now, even your normal Facebook, your WhatsApp, what value are you giving your connects? And what value are you getting from them? Are you ready to work? I mean, you mentioned something that's very, very important. I mean, now, per my experience, recruitment is a very expensive process, time-consuming as well. And so no brand would want to waste time going 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, as you mentioned, to find people when they can actually just go through their connects and see who's ready. I'm here, I can do it, I'm capable. They know you're capable as well because it's a network you've built over time.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's actually a research on that. You know, when companies have, top-notch talent, they will also be connected with top-notch talent out there. It's a known fact. So if you know you're one, then connect with one. That's all.
Wow, lovely. So one important thing I want to find out from all of us, anyone that wants to pick it first can go. At what point do I start building professional relationships? At what point do I start networking? When I'm in school, when I'm about to graduate, when I get the job, when I'm looking for a job? At what point do we start?
If I may, Rev, I think it's first and foremost, let me bring a bit of clarification here, and this is my opinion, obviously, but I separate networking from professional relationships. For me, if I'm using Ike's analogy, networking is like using the 56K modem to connect to the other PC. You do the handshake, you connect, you transfer, you disconnect. Whereas relationships are like the current broadband that you have. It's a consistent on.
Exactly.
You see, a lot of people get caught up in the network hype. And so they go for active programs. They go for networking programs. They, can I get your card? Can I get your card? Can I get your card? They get home, they have a stack of cards. One day they get in trouble, they say, let me call the person. He doesn't remember you. He's not going to do anything for you, right? I'll give you a young lady I met in Ashesi. I do a lot of training, and I meet people every time that I train. And you'll find that in any training room, there's some people who will make an impression on you and some people who will pass through, right? This young lady among her group of people quickly took my name, and right in the middle of class, I realized this lady had looked for me on LinkedIn and connected. I said, that's interesting. So I took a note of that, but I ignored it. And every week after that, she was saying, hello, sir, how you doing? How you? 17-year-old lady, she's Nigerian actually. How you doing, sir? Is everything all right? Oh, have a lovely day. Maybe a month later, hope everything is fine. I saw you've done this on your LinkedIn. Recently, she's not even finished school. I reached out to her once as part of Toastmasters. I said, you know what? I'd like you to join Toastmasters, something I think would be good for you, and I'll pay for it. Now, why did I single this one person out of the entire class? Because this is the one person that has shown me that she's consistently just checking, just reading, just exposing. So even though I may have forgotten everybody out of that classroom, that one person made an impression on me, right? That's relationship building.
Relationship.
Meanwhile, everybody in the class, of course, can we get your initial? I was like, okay, fine, you can take my number. Everybody will take your number, but who's going to build a relationship? Now let's move to your question. When do you start? I just gave you an example of somebody who started when she's 17. Like I said, people need people, and we live in a social construct. So it's never too early for you to build relationships. How do you do that? I think my first thing is be nice. Be a decent human being. It's surprising how many people meet their would-be potential recruiter and mess up from the first day. Simple, decent things like somebody has opened the door for you. Thank you. Somebody's trying to park. Don't cross the person.
Don't cross the person.
Somebody's struggling. He's taking things out of the car. May I help? Very decent little things. It makes an impression. You don't know. You may never meet that person, or you may. But the next time you meet that person, what impression have you given them? Today we came, the four of us. We don't know each other from anywhere. We've talked. We found out, oh, interesting. Oh, I'd like that. I'd like to know. Now we say what? What did you say just before you started? We will talk after. We're building a relationship. Others would come here, look nicely, cross their legs, wait for their moment, come and sit up stage, talk, go, because I've arrived. Be a decent human being. Be a human being. Humans thrive on connection. And you don't know what's going to come up. How did I find out about this program? I was approached. Why was I approached? Because somebody told somebody something, right? I don't remember the last time I looked for or asked for a job. Most of the time, hey, these people say they need this. I put your name out there. Or, hey, I heard about you. Can I talk to you? It just comes from being a decent human being and serving and helping people. So that's the way you start. And you can start as little as a baby, as a 3-year-old. You start doing so. There are people who've had people, they know, okay, this guy, I don't know what he does. I don't know what skill he does. He comes from a good home. He's very hardworking. Find something for him. And you know, these days we're a bit better than that. Back in the day, your mother or your auntie would call you, hey, this son is there. Or he's a very good boy. Find him something to do.
Yes, exactly.
They've already built that relationship. And you know, usually when they have that integrity, and a lot of people, CEOs today will tell you that they'd rather take somebody with the right attitude and integrity than somebody who supposedly has all the skills. Because they come in, they don't buy into your vision, and they'll mess you up.
Yeah, they don't buy into your vision, true.
So my advice, start now. Be a human being. Be decent.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Papa said, is start now. If I just go back into my own life, I got my first job at the age of 24.
Great.
And I had a newborn. He was 2, yes. And so when you're in the UK, people are like, black, young, she's not going to get a job. And especially where I was living. You know, even I remember my university lecturer said, why don't you drop out and then come back later? Wow. And it's like, no way. I'm not going to drop out. I'm going to finish it. So what did I do? I had to start talking to people and getting advice. It's not about just connecting with the person and say, I'm stuck, can you get me a job? It's about engaging with them and listening to them and seeing how they can support and sharing and not complaining. You know, some people are like, I can't find a job, it's hard. What shall I do? Can you help me? No. What can you offer? So this is what I'm good at. This is what I've learned. This is what I can do. How can I get into the job market based on my situation? And I look out for people who I can connect with, who I can engage with, who I can build a relationship with, who can hold my hand and support. And I started that from the onset. You know, so most people will say, oh, you started young. It's because I was intentional. I was very intentional with the way I build relationships. I didn't just, like you said, network. I didn't just go to a career fair. Because as students, we all go to career fairs and we say, hi, what can you offer me? What jobs? You do this. Okay, thank you. You go to the next stand.
Not to even cut you, but I think in some studies, it's even a mandated part of it. So you're supposed to go. It's a part of your credits. And so people will just go for going sake. I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah. And they don't capitalize on the relationship they can build. And that's the key here. Capitalize on the relationship you can build. Don't just network and connect with the person and then leave them there and they become another number on your profile. Connect with them. So people might be saying, so what do I do? For now, like Papa says, start. Even when you meet somebody in the bus, don't just sit there, put your earphone. You can connect with the person and find out, what is it that you do? Where are you going? Just having that conversation can actually open a door for you. And that's what relationship building is. Like Papa said, we were all sitting there, and we didn't know each other, and we just we struck up a conversation. And that is because we realized that there's value in each person, and I want to meet that person again, and I want to be able to continue from the conversation that I've had. I've opened that door. I didn't just, like Papa said, sit there, cross my legs, and say, hi, are you on the panel? Good.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. No. We build a relationship so that the next time you've opened the door. And I think that's the key thing here. It's not about, I need a job. Ghana is about who you know. It's about relationship building. And it's about letting people get the chance to know who you are and the real you, you know. There's, again, a story that I came across about a story that some people feel like their stories are sad and that because of the circumstances that they're in, nobody's going to look at them or give them a chance. But that story can actually open the door for you and give you that opportunity. It's about opening up and showing up for yourself. And once you do that, that is what relationship building is. It's about being vulnerable as well. Not telling everybody your whole secrets and expecting people to feel sorry for you. No. But it's about being vulnerable enough for somebody to see that you are really trying and you're doing it for yourself and you need assistance and you need help. And being clear on what type of help you need. Not that I'm looking for a job, but I want to be able to do this. And how do you think I'll be able to do that? Yeah.
Wow. I want you to do this, and this is what I've done so far.
This is what I've done so far.
Because they want to see that you've at least started something.
Yeah.
I think that will even draw the line between you getting sympathy.
Exactly.
And empathy.
And empathy.
And empathy, yes.
And so you go clear, you are conscious about what you want, what you've been able to do by your experience, and then they will find out where they can actually fix you in there. Ike.
You know what? I think I'll probably start with this, and thanks for
They always started for you, right?
No. Luckily for me, I actually had this coach when I was about going to secondary school, and he said something over and over to me, and that thing has always, kept me on my toes. He said, never discriminate with people. Remember, the people you see now will be the same people you see in the future. Some may be higher than you, others may be below, and others will be your peers. He said this several times, and probably I was with a couple of mates of mine, and he kept mentioning my name and telling me that. It got some people a bit, annoyed because they felt maybe he was being, the thing, whom was selecting. So, thinking through it, I now understand why, after taking his advice, I got everything that I was robbed of by the mere fact that those that were my mates, I kept everybody at the same level. It only got one person seeing the robbery, coming to me and saying, oh, don't worry, picking a phone, calling, and I was right there. Where these guys took my stuff, and their leader gave everything to me. Why? Because that person knew a relative of that leader. And why? Because I knew and kept that same relationship over and over. Wow. You see that thing? Yeah. If you want to wait till you see an issue coming before you build a relationship, then you will not get any benefits out of that. And it's good you actually said start now. So for those of you who have not actually done something about building your relationship, starting, connecting with other people because you feel maybe it's not my strength, it's not those kind of things, stop it. It's as simple as you noticing that someone is a human being and you can easily talk to the person. And once you do that, you have no idea how building that, first initial engagement would actually end you getting more returns from that, and you also in turn benefiting that person. So it's that simple. Start it now. Build that relationship. Don't wait for an opportunity that you see that you need to actually benefit from before you start it. Start it now.
All right, thank you so much, Ike. So my next question has to do with all that you guys have said. We're supposed to start now. It begins now. But how do I know I'm not going overboard? I say this because in my line of duty, I meet interns all the time. I mean, I go to seminars and I get people connected with me, but then you get people texting you at 1 a.m. Hi, I'm checking up on you. You post your status and somebody will come and reply, oh, you're looking good. But this is a person that is trying to build a business relationship, a professional relationship. How do I know I'm not going overboard? Basically, the do's and don'ts. What am I supposed to do? What can't I do, realistically?
So, Rev, if I may take a stab at this, and this is where it gets sad, because there's so much that as Africans, or that as Ghanaians, we used to get right, and now that we're supposedly evolved, we've gotten wrong.
We've gotten so wrong.
Something we call Ifyenyansa, wisdom of the house, right? There was something we used to have called apprenticeship, where I understand that my son is growing older. Uncle Ike has an establishment. Please, let Kweku come and work with you. You're not going to pay Kweku anything. I will do transportation, everything. Just so Kweku can learn a trade. Okay? So that was volunteering. Right? Now, Kweku knows that, or he's been trained to understand that, look, just because somebody is smiling with you, opinion, grown up, is talking to you, doesn't mean he's your friend. I'm not at what level. On your tipen, yes. He's not. So you don't call Uncle, unless Uncle Kweku tells you it's okay for you to call him at 1 o'clock. You don't call him at 1 o'clock. Now, under the guise of be confident, right? Under the guise of be confident, we start going overboard. And then when that grown up, scolds you, say, hey, he's something else, or he's something, when you're dealing with him, he's something. But these are Ifenyans, like we say, wisdom of the house. Volunteering is something that the so-called worlds that we're copying do so well. But over here, hey, how much am I making? How much am I going to make? You don't have any skill. You don't have any background. You don't have any experience. And the first thing is, how much am I going to make? And you rather sit at home for 5 years, 4 years, 3 years and make nothing. And you know what? I'm not even going to blame the students. I used to get angry with students when I mentor. Now I've realized that the problem is parents.
It's parents.
Yeah.
I have an intern who was working with me not too long ago. And I remember when he came, the first thing I asked, because these days I've realized that you have to be clear on the table.
Yeah, very clear.
I said, how much do you want to make? He stated his figure. And he was making more than he actually said that he wanted to make. But the type of job that he was doing, this was one of these business process outsourcing jobs. Okay. So you get paid based on the number of things you do. And sometimes the work comes at different times of the night. His own mother, one day he comes to the office and says, I think the job next month I have to stop. And I said, oh, what's the problem? Is there an issue? My mother them are laughing at me. They say, how much am I making that I'm suffering so much? And I got angry not because he wanted to leave, but because I said, so your mother, who's supposed to care about you, your prosperity, who understands the way the world is laughing at you because you've started making something for yourself. You understand? So this is obviously a mother who's not even going to support him if he's doing volunteering. That's something he's even being paid for. Are you with me? Recently, another father, he brings his son. Oh, I want him to come and learn and be an intern. No, he doesn't. You shouldn't pay him nothing. I'll bring him in. Just so he doesn't get in trouble. You see the big contrast. And you will see the difference when they get out. But it all comes from training. So my advice to those who may not necessarily be getting that training at home, go back to the archives. Ifeanyansa. Just because somebody is given an opportunity to you doesn't mean that he's your co-equal or your friend. Just because somebody is being nice doesn't automatically mean that he's your best friend, so you should act anyhow. Even when you go to somebody's house and you've not been offered a seat, you wait till you're offered a seat.
Exactly.
Right? So these are some of the things. You don't call somebody at 1 o'clock, or you ask the person, when is a good time for me to call you? Or how soon can I call? I got one friend of mine who got so angry because I referred somebody for a job for him. And I think the person decided to WhatsApp him, which is another thing too we need to, because not everybody who's comfortable. Yeah. And he started talking to the person. And I think at some point he asked the question. This for him was his interview process. He asked the question, and you know this thing where some people can decide, oh, a WhatsApp, they won't reply, and then they'll reply on their own. So she replies back, I think, 12 hours after. He called me and he was angry. He said, what kind of person did you send to me? And in fact, he was so abusive on the phone, I realized that this is something that had really pained him. This was CEO of a company. Now, not only have you obviously killed your chance of getting a job because this guy, you are burning bridges even for me. So now the next time, I can't even refer you to anybody. You see, but there's a clear difference between somebody that you're dealing with professionally and somebody that is your best friend. Yeah. They are not the same. You work relationships with everybody, and relationships take time. It's a give and take. It's, oh, this is how I am. Even with friends, we have different ways. There are certain friends you will jump with. There are certain friends that you will also, have a different thing. There are certain friends you can get very comfortable with certain language. Other friends you can't. We take too many things for granted. So, to err on the side of caution, always ask permission.
Ask permission first.
Don't just jump into conclusions. Don't just stop. Don't just say, as for me, I'll preach in the night, so I will text you in the night. Ask. Make sure it's okay. Don't presume. That's the little Ephesians I'll share today.
Papa said it all. Know your boundaries. Know your boundaries. Imagine if you were in the working environment. Would you send a boss a text message at midnight? No. Imagine if you were with your colleagues and you had to work on a project. Would you send them a text message at midnight? No. You would do it within the working hours. So the same type of relationship you are aiming to achieve by being employed, extend that same courtesy to the people you are networking and building a relationship with. It's just about understanding your boundaries and knowing what you can do and what you can't do. So just imagine yourself in a corporate setting or even in any type of setting and just say, can I do this? How would it be perceived? If the answer is, if you're again, intuition, follow your own intuition. If you feel that it would be inappropriate, then know that the person on the other side would also deem it as inappropriate. And like Papa said, just because the person is taking a chance in building a relationship with you, it doesn't mean they're your friend. They are still your mentor and still your coach. And you need to accord them that same level of respect. So that's my advice I would give to every single student. Yes, connect with us. Yes, please do engage in conversation, but know your boundaries. Know your boundaries.
All right, thank you so much, Ike. So
I will probably take on two key things about relationship building, and that is respect and then empathy.
Empathy, yeah.
Okay. A lot of the time, because we know this is actually a human activity, we've already created our inner circle, our outer circle. Usually when we get very close to someone we've networked with, the person is automatically within our inner circle. We then let loose of our guard and then just be doing things anyhow. It is very important that we don't go through that kind of process with them, because at that very moment you will definitely burn bridges if you don't know how they operate. And that is where the empathy comes in, because if you have that empathy, you probably realize that this person is working probably more than the 12 hours you normally know. I'm saying 12 hours because I don't feel it's 8 hours. And once you note that empathy part, you realize that you accord that person that amount of respect, similar to the way you actually handle your parents if they are older. And if they are your mates, you also realize that some positions actually require a lot more from them. And you are sponging from them and probably picking
picking
their times and getting their ideas. So you need to find a way to fix yourself somewhere in there. Okay? It doesn't mean that you let them off the hook completely. It just means that you know when to engage them and how best to engage them. And if you do that, that shouldn't be a challenge.
All right. Thank you so much. So one question before we move on to the next one. Does due process still play, or standard procedure, does it still play when I have a professional relationship with somebody? Let's say I work at company A and there's a friend in company B, not a friend, a connect, professional connect. Do I still have to book appointments when I have to see them? Or I can just drop by because it's my business connect? I mean, we mentioned being decent and that. But this is me at work. We came for a meeting and, the connect might be in the next building. Can I just drop by without informing him or her? Because we're in the workspace or it's during the work period?
I believe that in today's world with cell phones, it is decent that you at least send a message or you call.
Okay.
I think at the basic you should do that. Some people may find it difficult to tell you, I'm busy, go away. But then you're inconveniencing the person if they are really busy. So I think it's decent that at least you let the person know.
No.
Unless one of those special cases where you guys are really close and this is a surprise.
This is a surprise.
But if you're not there, don't do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. One last thing I want to find out from all of us, very, very important. I mean, since we've mentioned so much about getting in that zone, things not to do, things to do, and that, I want to find out what are some of the common misconceptions about professional relationship building, and how can we combat these misconceptions and, of course, leverage on these networking tools to build our careers effectively. Misconceptions when it comes to professional relationships, and then how we can correct these misconceptions. Of course, you guys will help us do that. And how we can leverage on platforms like ReadyToWork, platforms like LinkedIn, platforms like even WhatsApp, the usual social media platforms that we have. How do we leverage on them?
So probably, let me think about it. Okay. So at the start, I actually linked it a bit into that, the whom you know mindset. Misconceptions are always about what you think is actually the issue, and it will probably be 90% not being that issue. So I normally see people feel that being able to build relationships is inborn. I'm an introvert, okay? And when I talk to people, they tell me, you're lying, you're not an introvert. I'm like, are you sure? Then look at the way I actually act. Being an introvert doesn't mean you cannot connect with people. You started with your friends at home. Think about it in that context. And if you do, you realize that it's very easy for you to actually then connect with people. Okay. The second aspect is around how you see the benefits. Some people feel that, if I connect with someone professionally, they will think that I'm getting, favors. And maybe I'm giving favors.
Yes.
That is a misconception. It's not true. The context is that we are supposed to connect to be able to have value and share value. And if you know that you're connecting on a professional level, then you will get and apply that professional view to the whole context. So if you're a student and probably a young professional, you feel, if I connect with the CEO, I may not have anything to share, so maybe I should find something else personally to give. That is not professional relationship. You can never put that in that context. You can only do that when you discuss something more professional. It could be about your career, where you're charting your way through, and what you're looking to actually gain, and then pick on the insights of those people. That is when the person can actually leverage on those ideas to recommend you for various opportunities. So I'll probably pick this two. And then come back later after Papa comes in after all.
No, but it's interesting you actually said a bit about the CEO. I think one thing that people don't realize is that sometimes, even though you may be a student and may think you have nothing to offer, you could be an investment.
Exactly.
And so if you're definitely going to cash in whatever they are giving you and bring returns by being somebody better in the future, he may even not see it as, him doing you a favor. He may see it as, look, I'm invested in somebody one day who will boast and say, I'm the reason he's, the next Jeff Bezos or whatever. Yeah. But I think before I go into the whole idea about misconceptions, which I think he's pretty much said most of, I want to quickly mention this about relationships. I think there are three groups of relationships that people need to think about. They are what I call the nurturers, and these are mentors and people that are going to nurture you to help build you to the next level. True. They are what I call the connectors, and these are people who are going to connect you with people that may be, useful to you. And they are what I call promoters, and this is where your personal brand comes in. The promoters are the reason I get something to chop, because honestly, I don't really do much of promoting myself. So, it's just people who are talking on your behalf. And each one may require a different type of engagement. True. Some misconceptions are, I'm being too pushy because I'm calling this person. It depends on who it is and what kind of relationship that you have. I can't ask them for anything because, it would be too forward of me. It depends on what you're offering. Exactly. If you're somebody who's giving value, or if you're somebody who always goes above and beyond for people, it's not a problem for you to ask in return, right? The other thing is, what I'm looking for, what am I bringing to the table? Do I have something that I bring? And if I don't, I'm not bringing, and there's a general misconception of what you should be bringing to the table. If you're hardworking and you can intern and you've done, or you're looking for an opportunity to volunteer, you don't know anything, be honest about it. Okay, you don't have to lie, right? So there's this, and then the last one, which actually is a big problem, is where people think, the who you know is just knowing somebody. I think that's a huge misconception. But it's not just knowing somebody. At the end of the day, there's a risk factor, which is another misconception people don't realize. When I connect with you, I am taking a risk. You may destroy my brand, or you may improve my brand. And most people refer people based on a certain level of comfort that if I refer this person, they won't embarrass me. They'll create my brand. So the fact that I've referred you because maybe I know you doesn't mean that, and by the way, these are real scenarios I've had, doesn't mean you can automatically come tomorrow and say, by the way, my brother also needs a recommendation from you. Your brother I've never met, whose character I don't know. There's this misconception that it's just a matter of, you're being wicked to me. Just connect to me.
The word is put me on. Why don't you put me on?
Why don't you hook me up? So there's this conception that it's just, you're not doing it means you're wicked, right? Because you have the power to do it. But it's actually a huge risk. Like I said, there are bridges I've burnt because of people I've referred or people I've connected. There are some people who've called me and said, I hired this person. And I said, okay, why are you telling me? He said, I hired him because of you. And then all of a sudden you feel this guilt and you have to call them, hey, look, I just found out he hired you. I beg, don't make. Exactly. It happens. Sometimes you have this brand and people feel like, the moment this person knows this person, automatically. I've had people call people and say, this person came in, but I'm calling you because I saw on her CV that she's a Toastmaster. Do you know her? Because if you say you do, I'll hire her. And all of a sudden you are feeling very guilty and under. Exactly. So we need to be aware of these and adjust our mind that person referring you is not some person who's feeling all high and mighty and is deciding that he won't do it for you because he's being wicked, but it's a risk, a personal risk to the person, and you need to make sure that you're somebody who actually will allow for others to get that opportunity as well. Very important. Because if you go and you mess up, you just kill the fellow. It's not just the person. You kill them for the future people that can also get that connect. So yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Just to add one final note.
Just one final one.
Yeah, one final note. So we are a very religious country, right? And usually people think that when you're connected, right, you're cheating. It's a misconception, and I need people to actually get that correct. If you connect, you do all the hard work earlier than you doing CVs and stuff. So you're doing smart work compared to your peers who will probably be doing the hard work and probably not get it. So let's get that correct. When you network, your hard work comes before the day your interview. So you've closed most of your interviews before the process. So you're not cheating, you're doing the smart work. You're doing the smart work.
Thank you so much. We still have a lot to talk about, but the rest of the session is for your questions. So if you do have a question, kindly post it in the comment box. We'll definitely check it out right after these messages.
Everyday life. Oh. Everyday life. Oh.
At it. All right, welcome back to Ready to Work. I'm still on here with Ike, Lena, and then Papa. We've shared a lot. In case you didn't catch the beginning of this, you can always watch back after the stream. But at this point, we'll take a few of your questions. But one thing before we move on, I just have to add this. So there's a general misconception that certain things are only in Ghana. And before we end, Papa will just touch a little bit on that. He needs to really clear that things don't happen only here in Ghana. You just need to grow your scope. Broaden your horizon when it comes to the business world, professional relationships, and that, so that you know that things actually happen everywhere. There are norms, basic norms. There are things that you can do, but the ones that you can do, it happens everywhere, and people do it everywhere. Moving on to my first question. Your name is Noklim Helen, and your question is, how do you handle building professional relationships and advances from opposite sex? Lena, can you touch on that for us?
It's funny. That's a question I get common. It's often that this person says they can help me, but they want to meet me in a bar. What should I do? It's not every relationship you need to build. It is not every relationship you need to build. You can say no. Sometimes it's because we're not confident in building relationships and we're not confident in networking that we often find ourselves that we are stuck in a situation. But the thing is, I want everybody to understand and to believe that you are not stuck. And they are not the only connection you can and will make. It should only spur you on to broaden your network and to broaden the scope of building relationships. One of the other things I also tell young ladies is that men are always going to be the ones who would advance themselves. So sometimes you can make a conscious effort to seek out females, to actually say, hi, can you help me? Because sometimes as females, we might be more reserved, but it doesn't stop you from going out and just ask, can you support me? Can you help? Men naturally are more social, they're more aggressive. So yes, you must probably find a lot more males coming to approach you, but you don't have to connect with that person. You don't have to network with that person. You do not have to meet them at the bar or wherever they say they want to meet you. You have a choice.
You have a choice.
You have a choice. And the choice should be that I am going to broaden my network and see who else can assist me.
All right, thank you so much. I'm moving on to the next one. I hope your answer has been received. So how do you maintain professional relationships in a time where everybody is working from home, so there's no opportunity for physical interactions? Message is coming in from OT Beats. Who will pick that one first?
Sure. Let me pick that. I have done a lot of work using the digital platform, social media, to connect with people. I think it is actually the environment for you to build that faster, especially for people who feel they don't have the natural edge to be able to connect with people. You've got the free environment to actually do that and connect with a lot more people. If you see working from home being a trap for you to get out, the best thing you can do is refocus your use of social media. LinkedIn is one of the most powerful tools for networking and building relationships in the professional environment. If you get there and you have a few friends who are actually connected to various organizations that you're interested in, you can start from that route. If you get onto WhatsApp. There are various platforms that allows you to actually connect with people with like mind or like ideas to share. That is also a very good place to start up. Every now and then, based on your relationships on a various platform, you can pick on one person, continue the discussions, and you can have the social distance session, probably over lunch or something, and then you start building more of that relationship. So it is not a closed up environment now. It's actually much more open because now the entire world is actually at your fingertips to connect with people. And remember, once you do that, when everything opens, let's hope COVID actually dies down, you will have a lot more people to connect with face-to-face as well.
All right, thank you so much.
I said something. You said refocus. What did you say?
Refocus your social
Yeah.
media.
Okay, beautiful. I like that phrase. And let me quickly add why I say that, Rev.
Sure.
People need to stop saying or thinking we're working from home. That's where the issue is. We've moved the office to the home. That's the difference. You see, we have a new office location, not working from home. See, working from home allows them to get up in their boxes, and because of that, they want to turn their cameras off. And when they finish, they say, it's not the same, it's not working, because they are in a home environment, acting like they are home, and trying to connect professionally. Set up an office. It can even be, I know somebody who joined my virtual training once, and he said he locks himself in the bathroom, and that's fine, so that the kids don't come and disturb him. That's fine. But set up whatever your office is. These days, luckily, we have what we call virtual spaces, so if you don't want people to see where you are, you hide it. Dress professionally like you're comfortable meeting the person professionally. Turn on your camera, okay? A lot of times we do, and it's one of the most aggravating things, especially for trainers, because the person is off and you can't connect. For me as a communicator, it's important for me to look at you, see your body language, not necessarily just because I want to see you, but it allows me to adjust my message to you when I interact. And so when I don't see you on camera when I'm talking to you, it takes away from the ability to connect. And so it's not going to be the same if your camera is off and your mic is all over the place. But if you connect like you're on camera with good internet, good this thing, you get almost about the same feel.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter that you're on the internet or you're working from home. You can still network.
Yes.
You can still connect to, and they are so, in fact, it's overwhelming. There are so many free webinars right now. So many free webinars that you can join. Almost every day there's a free webinar. You can join, look at the topic, look, I'll give you a quick cheat. Okay? And I tell these people this all the time. When you're going to a seminar, read about the topic even before you hear from the person and put a question down. If he asks, are there any, and usually if you notice in our culture, usually the questions come a lot after the first two.
Oh, true.
Nobody talks in the first one. Be the first person to land the question. And there's a certain sense of, as a speaker or as a trainer, there's a certain sense of gratitude when you're the first person who asks the question. One, it makes me feel like you listened. Two, it makes me feel like, okay, you're making my session more interactive. So when you later follow up, I'm likely to remember your name.
True.
So be that first person that asks a question or makes a comment, just jump in. And a lot of times we have people who just want to have their voices heard. So they'll maybe say something that has nothing to do with the topic, just so they can be on the, don't do that.
Don't embarrass yourself.
Don't do that. Find a genuine question, something legitimate you want to know about, ask the question. Ask early before the other people start now getting in and don't get a chance. Make your impression. Follow up later, yes.
So I just want to add that the fact that the world is closed, personally, I have met up with so many more people that I've lost contact with. Since being in Ghana, I used to work for the University of East London. I've now connected with 4 people that I used to work with on LinkedIn because it's closed and I had to find a new way of connecting. I've actually connected with people from high school back when I was 15, because the world is closed. So I had to find a new way of connecting. So you need to move away from the mindset that the world has closed. It's not closed, it's actually opened. And again, going to what Papa said about the trainings and the seminars, first you had to try and recoup money and find how you're going to go to this training. Today, there's so many free webinars, trainings where you would need to travel. You can now do it in the comfort of your home. By Zoom, and then as soon as you've done training, all those people on that training is a network. You can choose to build a relationship with that person. And just because that person may be in America or that person may be in China. It doesn't matter. It's still a relationship that you can learn from and then use for yourself here in Ghana. So the world is not closed. It's actually very much open. And you don't have to restrict yourself with the people that you know today. You can actually broaden it. I think it's fantastic.
Very, very fantastic. Thank you so much. Because of time, we might have to speed things up a little bit. I have a question here from Naadoli Abrahams, and she wants to find out what are some interesting yet relevant conversation starters, triggers that you can use when you want to start building a relationship with somebody who you would want to be a mentor or, connect to you, basically. Conversation starters, right ones, relevant ones, fun, interesting, not overboard, still in a professional setting.
I think you need to do your research first on the person that you want to connect with. So I'm going to use you, Papa. So I did my research on Papa. I've never met Papa. I did my research and I'm like, wow. There was a story that you put on the platform and I think it was fantastic. And that is how I actually started the conversation. So sometimes you need to do, if you really want them to be your mentor, ask yourself why. Why is it that you want them to be your mentor? What is it about them that makes it appealing for you? Why do you even want this connection in the first place? Ask yourself those questions, and then the opener will come so naturally, because then you're introducing why. And I think that's the most simplest way to start a conversation, just explaining why that person is important to you for your career journey.
All right, thank you so much. The next one says, all right. Afi Bay says, introverts are naturally, so I'll just pick that from you because you mentioned that. Introverts are naturally reserved people. What skills can they adapt that will help them improve their networking skills?
So the first thing that I learned was that being an introvert doesn't mean you don't have strengths. So focus on your strengths.
Focus on your strengths.
So once you do that, you probably realize that you are always connecting with people. The moment you dwell on, I'm an introvert, you've actually created a mindset that will limit you. When you focus on, oh, I actually know how to analyze situations very well, you can build a conversation about analysis or something. And that is what I do. So by the time I come maybe with the research and all that, I kick a conversation and then I go on with that. Or I do a research on you, and then I come in with that. Or I do a research on the issue that we are going to tackle, and I start that conversation with that. Or, my favorite, just assume every now and then that we're probably going to love sports.
Okay.
So I'll pick on the latest issue that happened.
All right, thank you so much. Papa, this question is for you. It says, is it right to allow your big brother or big sister offer you a job in the same sector he or she is working in? I can answer, but I think we should just...
My big brother, my big sister.
Yes, I mean family.
Well,
offer you a job in their sector.
First and foremost, is it conflicting any laid down rules? If it's not conflicting, why not?
Why not? Are you up to the task? Why not?
If you're up to the task, exactly. And if you're not, don't, you see, here's another thing I quickly want to clear. Sometimes it's not just about how the person offering you the job will look. Sometimes it's about yourself. If you're not ready for something and you know you can't get ready, you're actually about to get yourself into a whole lot of world of trouble. So make sure that you can do it. But if you can do it and it's not breaking any rules or any laws, please, why not?
Why not?
Jump in.
All right, thank
because
you so much.
everybody, look, believe it or not, at the highest of levels, be it presidents, whatever, are being connected by somebody. So don't sit around saying, as for me, I don't want to be connected.
Family,
you're stabbing yourself in the back.
All right, final one for you, Alina. Enoch Asume wants to find out how he can, or how his technical expertise can propel his growth.
How, again, you're limiting yourself, technical expertise. Why didn't you tell me all your expertise? You are an expert in so many things. Okay, so again, just limiting yourself to my technical expertise is a limit in itself. You have social skills, you have relationship skills, you have communication skills, you have interpersonal skills, Put them all together and form a story from that. So you may say that you've got technical skills. What makes you technical? What do you love about being technical? Sometimes when you're meeting with a person, it's about starting a conversation and having starting off with a story. you know? So if you go on LinkedIn, for example, and you find someone like a role model who has the same level of technical expertise that you have, again, you can connect with the person on LinkedIn. And when they start a post and it sparks your interest and it's something that you have got a lot of skills on, you can actually put a post and comment on their story. That in itself is a connection and the relationship building. So if you have technical expertise, I would suggest find ways to connect with like-minded people and spark a conversation with them. And like I said, the world has opened up. The person doesn't have to be in Ghana, because at the end of the day, relationship building is about building yourself up to increase your net worth. Yes.
All right, thank you so much. And I'm really, really grateful for you guys coming through today. It's been an interesting ride. I personally enjoyed it. I know the viewers at home also enjoyed it. If you have any more questions, because of time, we can get to them, but definitely the platform will find answers for you. These guys will still be on the platform ready to work to ensure that you have a good time. Of course, you build yourself with regards to your career. I'll take final words from you guys quickly, briefly. Anything else you'd like to add? Things we didn't touch on? Ike?
I think one very important thing is be careful about misconceptions.
Okay.
Be careful about how you think the world is going. Don't just sit on the side and take those rumors that are going on in the community or in your peer group, especially on campus and the rest. It won't work. It doesn't work. You have to actually make time, go out, connect. Going out to mean being on LinkedIn, using man hours to actually connect with a number of platforms, connect with a number of people who you know can add value to yourself and you can actually learn from them. Once you do that, you've started a journey. If you don't start now, you will struggle getting a job in the future.
All right, if you don't start now, you struggle with getting a job in the future. Lena?
Don't limit yourself to, I don't know anybody. In Ghana, it's who you know. So me, I don't know anybody, so I can't move forward. Please do stop limiting yourself to saying, I don't know anybody, because you do know somebody. You can connect. There's nothing stopping you from crafting up a profile on Clubhouse, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and just changing the way people perceive you so that they would want to connect with you and start a relationship with you. So I want people to take away that mindset that because I don't know anybody, I can't move forward. The thing is, you do know people. The problem is that you're not giving yourself a chance to get to know people.
All right. Papa?
My last is going to be an opener for what maybe another conversation later.
Another day.
Purpose, talent, relationships, personal brand. So first and foremost, whether you like it or not, think of all these as an investment. You have capital, that's your talent. Those are gifts that were given to you by God. Use that and try to figure out your purpose, which is the assignment you're on. And the relationships you're building are what are helping you to achieve that assignment. But as you build those relationships, remember that you need to build your personal brand, because that's where the real value is.
Yes.
Now, a simple thing that I would tell people for using LinkedIn, which my colleagues have been using quite a bit, when anybody says anything nice to me, oh, Papa, you communicate well, or best coach ever, or amazing job, I just said, please, can you put it as a testimonial on my LinkedIn? That's equity, right? And it's stronger than, take this year, or thank you for the job you did, or take this 20 cities or 30 cities. So people need to think like that. If you do that and you continue to invest in your personal brand, finding your purpose, building on your talent, and building on your relationships, that's all the investment you need to focus on.
Thank you guys so much, of course, for joining me on here. A final word from me, though. ReadyToWork, the purpose for which we are here, is a platform that is designed by APSA to provide young people, you and I, the needed skills that will help us transition from the world of education into the world of work. Now, for almost 4 months now, we've taken you guys through steps through which you can build your career self, all right? We've given you personal skills, professional networking skills, communication skills, things you're supposed to look out for as an entrepreneur. But there's more to learn. The platform is still open for you and I to learn and upgrade ourselves every day. The website is www.readytowork.apsa.com. I'd really love for you to join on here and to word to all my guys that are on the platform. If you signed up for this, you're constantly going to get mails from APSA updating you on the products we have for you in building your career. All right, have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of the day. And to my panelists, thank you so much once again for coming through. My name is Eskin. Good morning.
everyday life. Oh.